And by the way, I have the recording. I think I'm gonna have to upload it on YouTube possibly and then send it to you, but I will do that probably when I get home.
Yeah, no rush. Don't worry about it.
Okay, cool. So Kim is a diamond, but what has really, for those of you that are on, but really shook me, she has developed 4 diamonds, which that is like what I'm super excited to ask you questions about later. That is a huge accomplishment that you have developed 4 separate diamonds, which is incredible. She is on the Market Council, which I'm not really sure what that means. Maybe you can talk about that, on the Market Council here in Atlanta. And she is a Success Club 5 All-Star legend and has hit Success Club for 39 consecutive months and has been a coach for 40 months total. I'm sorry. I just started hitting Success Club not too long ago, so that's really, really impressive. She won the trip for Mexican Riviera last year. Was it so awesome?
It was amazing. A lot of the pictures on my slides are from there.
Oh my gosh, I can't wait to hear all about it. And she's already won and registered for the cruise next year, which I think I'm still like in process of possibly getting that trip, which cross my fingers. I really hope that I can. And it's all the way paid for. So I'm super excited to hear from Kim. She, honestly though, I feel like Kim works harder than anyone else. She is a freaking hustler. She is kind of on Katie's team, but not really. Her direct upline doesn't really work the business anymore, so she kind of relates to Katie and kind of goes to her for help. So I'm super excited to hear everything that she has to say. Yay, Tanya's on, and Kaylin. And then I'm not sure who that phone number is. Is it? I think it might be Holly. I'm not sure though. So it's all you, Kim. Go for it. I can't wait to hear from you. And y'all make sure you're writing down questions or putting in the chat that you have questions, because I already have questions and I haven't even heard from her yet. So I'm super excited.
Yeah, you know what? I've even got to figure out how to share the or how to check the chat thing, because I'm so bad at that. Yeah, and also Macy ran a team call for me, and her slides, presentations, so much better than mine. My game on that is not good. I'm the talker, and I've gone through a couple of virtual assistants that just didn't quite have the vision, and a lot of people that were working with multiple other coaches, and I really didn't want that kind of thing. So I did this myself. So hopefully it's okay. But so, hey, you guys, I'm Kim. Like Macy said, I've been in the business about 3.5 years, and I'm super pumped to talk to you guys tonight. I really do. It's an honor, and it's just humbled. I'm humbled even just hearing the stuff Macy's saying, because I'm like, well, actually, it's probably like a lot of you. I'm really hard on myself, and I always am. I think a lot of achievers think it's just never enough. Whatever they're doing is never enough. And when you look in this business, there's always more to do. There's always more to accomplish. There's always going to be. But I'm learning. One of the things coaching has helped me learn is to actually stop and celebrate victories and recognize your own work, just the way we so quickly recognize other people. And it is important. So it is cool to realize I've come a long way, especially for being a coachless person. So I'm excited just to be here and share my story. So just kind of want to introduce myself. I am from Buffalo, New York, and I moved to Georgia. Well, let me just start. So I was born, I think, talking when I came out of the womb. I am, and I really unashamedly share that I am a talker, an oversharer, an overthinker. I grew up an aspiring writer. That's still my biggest dream, is to become an author. I also want to be a motivational speaker. And when I was little and people would ask me what I wanted to do after I went through all the things like being a vet and, this and that, everything else, the 3 things I was always left with that I always wanted to do was to write. And I wanted to be able to travel, be a motivational speaker that just traveled the world. And I also wanted to teach group fitness. And that's kind of a funny mosh podge until you learn of Beachbody, because I can actually do all of those things as a coach. I had no idea this job existed. So I went to college, and my mom actually passed away as I was applying to 20 schools. She passed away from breast cancer. And that was a really pivotal part of my journey, because my mom and I were really, really, really incredibly close. And just as probably all of you were starting to get ready to spread your wings and go to college and figure out who you are and what you want to be, I was somebody that felt like my wings were just clipped, and I didn't want to go away. I wanted to stay home. I wanted to be with my dad. I didn't want to lose the rest of my family, because I had just lost my mom. And because it took years of counseling to realize that I really tried to be my mom. A lot of people want to be like maybe one of their parents if you had a good parental figure, but I kind of adopted her identity. And so I really just wanted to do whatever she did. And I really had a very hard time figuring out my place in the world without her. I really felt lost in that for a good 10 years. So I was going to school, really good overachiever, high grades, always top of my class, graduated with honors and all of that. But in that time, I started to run support groups for teens and 20-somethings who had lost a mom. And after, or a parent or anybody. I also was super into fitness. I've always been really into fitness as a little girl. I would take myself making home workouts, which might sound hysterical, but I would set my parents' old camcorder video up on a tripod, and I would put like some little wooden step and a little bathing suit on and those like knee-high, socks, and I would work out and take myself. I made fitness profiles for my parents. So it's just always been a part of me. And after my mom died, going to the gym and getting myself I got really into spinning, a lot of weight training. I felt like that really helped me power through. I am a believer, really do believe that God allowed that to happen for a powerful reason. And I believe that all of what I'm doing now is a part of that. But I also didn't walk super closely at that time. And fitness was a way that actually drew me into bettering myself. And I really feel like God allowed me to go through all that, and it ultimately led me to where I am now. After that, I got into hot yoga, and I ended up becoming a certified hot yoga instructor. And when the one thing you can see, this trend, is that I've always needed to help people. Whatever phase of life that I'm in, I was blogging through my grief journey. I had a lot of followers as I unashamedly share all the ins and outs, the ups and downs, the emotions of that. I have had panic attacks since I was a little kid. I didn't actually know that until more recently, that's what that was. I have no idea why my parents didn't take me to a doctor. But anxiety is a huge part of my story, and it flared up when I had my first son in 2013, who was born with a blood disorder. We were in and out of hospitals. We had 2 blood transfusions for him before he was 8.5 weeks old. And for someone who has anxiety and had lost a parent, my greatest fear in life became losing another loved one. I would do anything to avoid that. And so I really lost myself in motherhood, which I'm going to get to on my next slide. And it was I love being a mom. Absolutely loved it, but a lot of anxiety flared up. And then I became a mom again in 2017. The little Joshua, he's 18 months old now. Caleb is my first, he's 5. Joshua is 18 months old. And that is actually when I got hit with postpartum anxiety. I'm going to touch on that too, because it's a big part of my coach story now. But we moved to Woodstock, Georgia, just about when my first son was almost 2, for financial reasons, really. I only have one sister and like a cousin here, but I've loved Georgia my whole life. We love being here, and ultimately it did lead me to Beachbody. This is really cool, but we needed a better job for my husband. So I started coaching in 2015, and I'm going to share how that came about on the next slide. So the beginning of my Beachbody journey, I actually went into a mom's group. Oops, let me see here. I went into a mom's group and I posted. I had been feeling like my son was napping for almost 3 hours a day, and I really could do something with that time to help our family financially. I got pregnant before I ever expected, and I really just did not, we weren't really prepared in a lot of ways, and financially was the biggest one. So I really needed a way to help my family from home, and I kept feeling it on my heart for a long time that I could be doing something with that time. But again, I felt like my hands were tied. So my mom passed away. My husband's mom passed away when he was little. We didn't have anybody to watch our kid. And then when you move, you don't have a support system pretty much at all. So like I can't. And my husband, this is also important to my story. He is a restaurant manager. And the restaurant business, if you know anything about it, he literally worked around the clock. Every night, every weekend, every holiday. I usually ate alone. I went to bed alone. And yeah, it was a very kind of lonely life. And I had been praying so many prayers for friends in this news, all these different things, that in a way to get back in shape, because the gym hadn't worked well with Caleb's blood disorder. So you can see that I was just looking for all these different pieces that Beachbody had to fill. And so when I posted in a mom's group, I got a slew of messages, all the things, guys, we don't really want to do. I literally had said no sales things, not at all. I'm not interested in any of that. And I got 80 different, kind of comments, and within minutes, like, Mary Kay, Yoni, da-da-da-da-da. But what was worse is all of those people PM'd me, although I didn't give them any permission to, and my inbox was full of the Join My Team stuff. There was one girl who did it differently. She commented maybe 2 days later. Her name was Amanda. She's my coach. And she literally only commented, "Hey, Kim, my name's Amanda. I have something that if you're interested at all in health and wellness, I have something you might be interested in. Shoot me a PM if you'd like to hear more." The only reason I PM'd her, because yes, I'm interested in health and wellness, always has been, is because she didn't push like everybody else did. So I messaged her. She told me about Beachbody. I looked at the video. I laughed because I had done Beachbody programs in home workouts that I loved. I had loved them. I have several of them at home, Tybo, like, Billy Blanks, all that stuff. And, but I literally said, oh no, that's a sales position. No, I'm not doing that. So for 4 months, like, I watched videos, I started researching, I found all the stuff about why I quit Beachbody and why Beachbody is a, scam and all these things. And I really just was like, no, like, I'm not going to do it. So why I'm telling you this, guys, this all has a purpose and a reason, because as you're inviting to the coach opportunity, which is the big thing I'm going to share with you tonight, you have to be prepared to hear those no's and to know that they're really not a no, they're a not right now, or it's just that somebody doesn't understand yet. When I get no's, whether it's for a challenge group, Shakeology, I always take that as, oh, I have not yet explained the value of this well enough to them. I put it on me and I figure out a better way to do that. So, because I'm serious, I don't think anyone in the world wouldn't and shouldn't want to do this. So, when about 4 months later, I got on my knees actually, and I was like, okay, God, I've been praying for all these things. I am literally continued to be looking for other things. Nothing else seems like it's going to work. I looked into Plexus, guys, this pink drink, you can eat whatever you want and drink it and just take your stuff away. And I was like, okay, that sounds horrifically not healthy. But all these different things. And I was like, you know what? Okay, God, I feel like you are asking me to step out in faith. I could not, I'm scared. I think that this is going to be all wrong, but I'm going to try. I'm going to say yes. I called my coach. She did a GSR with me right away. And this is what I told her. I'm giving this 30 days. I'm a very faithful person. I was a newbie Christian, really into my walk. And I'm like, if I can't give God the glory, if I'm going to have to be pumped, in a bathing suit all the time, if this is going to be a company of bleach blonde hair babes with like big fake boobs and like everything about the body and everything that I thought Beachbody would be, then I'm going to be out. I just want you to know that. So I decided to jump in. I pretty much did the hardest program we had. I did Insanity. And I also want to tell you guys that I didn't even have the money for my own challenge pack. I decided, and this is Melanie Mitchell's story. This is a lot of top coaches' stories. So another reason why I think it's important to help people wherever you can. I started with a used program, but I did invest in the challenge pack and I had to put it on a credit card, even though I didn't want to, because I vowed that I signed up as a coach day one. You guys, I had no experience in a Beachbody challenge group. I did not have a transformation picture. I had no experience whatsoever, but I knew that I needed an opportunity to get back into shape and to, actually make money. And if I could do both at the same time, that's pretty incredible. So I jumped in. Before the picture on the left, I was exhausted. You can see that I just look seriously weak. I was thin. I was below my pre-pregnancy weight. The reason why I wanted to show you guys this picture, show of hands for anyone. If you saw me in the picture on the left on social media, would you present a challenge group opportunity to me? Because every single person that I asked on my team has told me no. Oh, well, you were already thin. Like, you look like, it's really important, and I'm going to share that here, that we don't decide for people who does and doesn't need this. So this person on the left was, below her pre-pregnancy weight. I didn't have weight to lose. I needed everything about this, everything. I needed the coaching opportunity, the money. I needed the confidence. I needed my marriage to be rekindled. I needed purpose as a mom. I needed so many things. Confidence. I needed friends. I was new to Georgia. Every single aspect of coaching has filled a major void. And I am amazed by a God who answered so many prayers with one thing. So I came out of that 60 days later, and my whole life, heck, 2 weeks in, my whole life had changed. I will say I didn't like the shake for 2 weeks. I was 100% not interested in Shakeology. I was like, those shakes and those things are for people who don't know how to eat well. It's simple. Eat clean, work out. Yeah, if it was that simple, everybody would do it, right? We all need convenience. We all need help with stuff like that. But that was my story. So again, just want to remind you that as you're looking at coach prospects, as you are talking to challengers that you have that you think might be good, don't get scared away by those objections and those hesitations they have about coaching, because every single top coach had them too. And I'm not a top coach, but I am included in that. So my coaching start, like I said, I was just lonely. I was looking for income. And I needed this in every way. Oh, sorry. I totally thought that slide was first. Sorry, guys. Anyway, so I already covered this. That I did the post in the moms group. And that my coach, Amanda, who you see in that picture at my first coach summit, she really did, I think, do it the right way, because it was less pushy. But I did say no for 4 months. When I finally signed up, it was February 2015. Like I said, I jumped right in. But it's very important to know my coach did not coach me. I have literally had to teach myself absolutely everything about this business. She did pop me into a coach training. Honestly, I felt like it was really the things you shouldn't do, the salesy stuff. So she also didn't really even comment back on my posts within the first, I think by the end of the first week, when I had questions, they would sit in her inbox for 5-7 days. And I remember feeling like I am the learner that like I need help. Like I'm not really just like, oh, I'm going to go train myself and teach myself. So it was very hard. And I almost quit 3 times. I did, you guys, when I say that I invited like 150 people in my first month, like it was, I just blasted it everywhere. And looking back, I think I did it the wrong way, but I was really trying really hard to make it work. But what I will say is with being all in, my first month, I missed Success Club by like 1 point. And then I hit it the rest of the time. But it's been hard and I've had to learn and grow every single step of the way. And why it's important is that, you know, Macy seems like she's an awesome coach, but her job, just like our job with our challengers, our clients, it's not to do it all for them. It's just to provide, to point them to the tools and the resources, to encourage them along the way and to let them know that we believe in them. But it's up to them to do the work. They have to drink the shake. They have to push play. They have to do the work. You cannot go to their house and do that for them. I am I wear my heart on my sleeve. I care so much and I give up on no one that I have run myself into the ground in this business trying to do it for my coaches. And I have spent 2.5 years doing that. So I'm going to share with you everything so you hopefully don't have to learn that the hard way like I did as you grow your teams. Because I didn't have a coach who did a lot for me, I literally felt like I didn't want to be that coach. I wanted to do like everything for my team. And that also stunted their growth. So I'll share some of that. But this is me in the Mexican Riviera. And this was this year. I actually won all 3 trips, all 3 years I've been coaching, but I didn't get asked off the wait list the first year because I had started coaching in February and it was already full. The second year we did get asked off the wait list. And when we did, only the very most expensive rooms were left. And it was something that was completely out of our price range. Sure, worth the wait for 3 years was honestly the honeymoon my husband and I never had. And that was a big part of my why. It went on my very first vision board that actually a few days ago, guys. So from the day I became a coach, it took me 3 years to see that vision and that goal come to fruition. And it doesn't always take everyone that long, but just a really big testament that I share all the time with people is to never give up because good things do take time. So mindset is everything in this business. And like I said, there is really 2 big ways that we grow our coaching businesses, right? Our business is all about helping people. Our mission as Beachbody coaches is to help lead people into healthier and more fulfilling lives. And there's 2 ways that we do that. The healthier comes in with challenge packs and, you know, challenge groups, and the more fulfilling lives comes in with coaching. And so that's what I feel like our business breaks down to is those 2 big things. And although I could share forever and a day about how to have you guys help you hit Success Club and get quick wins and get Emerald and advance your businesses, and there's so much I could do, I really wanted to focus in on one. So it was quality over quantity. And so I want to talk about sharing the coaching up because I really feel like that is the biggest thing that new coaches, or even newer coaches just don't do. And that's the thing that really will advance your business the most. So mindset is everything, you guys. I always tell my new coaches, what's in your head comes across. So like if you're like bracing for an impact, you're bracing for a no because you think someone's going to tell you a no, they feel that through the like computer. They just do. And so I think one of the biggest reasons that people don't, share coaching or don't go further in their businesses right off the bat is we don't actually treat it like a business. We actually, if you were opening up a hair salon, you were opening up a restaurant, and you invested $10, $20, $30, $40, $50,000 into this thing, or probably way more. We only $160 challenge pack, that's it. And it's really just your own product. It's kind of incredible that the business opportunity comes to us through that. But let's pretend for a moment that you had all that on the line. Would you literally just be like, I don't feel like inviting today. I don't really want to tell that girl. She'd be a great coach, but I'm kind of scared, so I'm just not going to say anything. No, you could not risk that. Your family's ability to eat or whatever, it depends on that. So you have to actually treat it like a business. You would be out there, offering discounts on food and coupons and vouchers and passes. You would do anything to fill your restaurant, to fill those seats, to get people in to see how awesome that it is so that they can try it too until your business works. So, but at the same time, even though we need to treat it like a business, we show up when we don't want to, I also think it's important that we don't focus so much on building a business that we forget that it's really all about helping people, because I think at the beginning I came in with wanting the business opportunity day one, and I was so focused on how I could build my business. But yes, you need to treat it like one, but I also think that you just need to remember that we're in a business of helping people. So it's all about people. They're not just points, they're not numbers, they're peoples and their lives. So sharing about what this business opportunity has done for you, sharing about the Chic and the challenge groups, all of that is caring. So remember, the mindset needs to be that you're not selling. You're not, there's actually nothing wrong with selling, but instead of thinking like, oh, I'm being so salesy, no, sharing is caring. This changed your life. Why would you not share that? Guys, tell the freaking world, okay? Tell the freaking world what Beachbody has done for you, and do not be embarrassed of that, because anything that has changed your life for the better, like if Macy, like she does, goes to a hair salon and gets this incredible style, this amazing cut, do you not think she's going to post on social media and tell people, y'all need to go see so-and-so because she's going to rock your world? That's caring. I would never look at Macy and think, are you trying to make money off of this? No, I'd be like, thank you, I'm going there, and what's her number and all of that. Why do we treat this any differently? Like, and it's way more on the line and way more important than somebody's how their hair looks, So we just have to get out of our own heads, and we have to stop overcomplicating this. And like I said earlier, we also need to make sure that we don't assume or decide who does or doesn't need this. Guys, that even goes for people in other MLMs. I cannot tell you how many people, when I was a newer coach, I would like unfollow those people and be like, oh, well, they're not going to be interested in joining me. So dumb. So many of my people are from Plexus, Advocate, like other companies, because guess what they all don't have? Fitness. Like, we are like all those girls, they don't have meal plans most of the time. They don't know how to eat healthy. They're just popping supplements and pills and pink drinks, and they don't even know how to be healthy. So like, we can help those people too. So reasons that, let me just get rid of this for a minute. The reasons that we don't share the business opportunity, I think it's important to touch on these before I talk to you guys about how to share the business opportunity. So I think, especially with newer coaches, that we don't want people to misconstrue what's in our hearts. We don't want to, make them think that, we just want this quick sale. And I don't know about you guys, but I have gotten so many messages. We see so many people doing it wrong. People have shared like, well, join my team. And like, they've messaged me completely out of the blue. I've never talked to them before in my life. I've actually gotten one where like the girl just literally messaged me and was like, hey, it didn't even say Kim. It was like, hi, I do this. Would you like to join my team? And I messaged her. I was like, what team? Like, what do you do? Who are you? Like, so like, obviously I'm not telling you to be like that. But we do often see it so much being done wrong that we're afraid to even share because we don't want to be perceived that way. We also can be embarrassed of working for an MLM because sometimes MLMs do have bad reps. Maybe we don't want to be judged by our friends, by our family. What might they think of me? If they, is that where people are going to think I'm just another one of those girls or whatever? And maybe we aren't confident in our abilities yet, because when you're a new coach, I know a lot of my coaches are like, well, I'm new myself. I don't know how to help anybody in the business. Like, why did I share that? And we feel like we have to wait to be at a certain point in the business to share. This was one of my biggest things. Like, I would look at my coach Amanda, and she had this blog, and she had this, and she had this, that. She had all the things that I didn't have, and I couldn't do them all at once, right? And trying to compare myself to her and to compare my, chapter A to her, like, G was just silly. I wasn't going to be there, but that didn't mean that I couldn't share authentically and be attracting people to me and what coaching and the challenge groups and all that was doing for me along the way. So it just like we tell people, I always tell my clients, like, you do not have to be at a certain weight loss or hit your goal to start sharing your journey. That's just silly. I have had so many coaches, I don't know about you guys, that have signed up with me and said, well, I'm really interested in coaching because I actually attract day one coaches a lot because that's what I was. So because I share that, I attract that a lot. So I've gotten asked, that's why corporate asked me to run that call. Like, how are you attracting like day one business builders? Well, that's what I needed. That's my story. Like, that's who I was. So I do attract that, but I learned the hard way that that's actually typically not a great way for coaches to get started. I've learned to actually sign those people up as a customer day one and upgrade them to the coach membership at day 30 because I want to give them those 30 days to fully immerse themselves into Beachbody, to develop their own story with the products and the group and make sure that this really is something that fits so well that they just feel so amazing. They want to scream from the mountaintops. But I do tell them, start sharing now. Like, whether you pretend you're a coach or whatever, start sharing now, because then you're already going to have 30 days worth of people following you, like getting comfortable with your journey, starting to trust you. And that's going to do you so well when you say, you actually start coaching. You're already going to have people that are interested that have been following you. So we do not have to be at a certain point to share our coaching journeys. So I'm going to share some ways that you can do that even when you're just starting. It would just be silly for you to wait till you get to a certain point. So the reasons to share: personal fitness and accountability. You guys, like, even if you're into fitness, go look at all the people on Instagram that post their sweaty selfies, and people that are whatever they are, fitness instructors, this, that, and the other. Do you know how many fitness instructors I've been attracted lately? Because I am a fitness instructor, but that does not always mean you're healthy. There are so many girls out there pouring out, and nobody's pouring in. Like, they're teaching other people classes, and they're not even doing anything to be healthy themselves. Like, I have one that just signed up with me last month. She's like my ideal coach, and she's in the group and she's loving it. But she wasn't following a meal plan. She didn't have like this. She just was teaching people, and she was gaining weight because she, when you're instructing, you're often not doing the majority of the class with people. And that's all the time you have to dedicate to fitness, and then your own journey goes to the wayside. So a lot of people need the accountability. So if you aren't, these are some things that you guys can be talking about and sharing on social media to attract people to coaching, is the accountability that you get and what that's doing for you. Because I don't know about you, but there are so many days, I shouldn't say so many. I'm actually a very self-driven person. So I honestly never needed an accountability group to finish a program. I'm just not that person. I'm going to do it anyways. What I did need was the accountability and support after I had my second, and I got hit with postpartum anxiety, and this thing was just bigger than me. And I actually really needed so much from other people. I needed accountability in reverse. I share that coaching has actually helped me to ease up on myself. The girls in my group helped me to stop being such a robot and like perfect at everything, and it extended me grace, because I was that like Nazi coach and like Nazi challenger for such a long time, trying to be like perfect. And that's not relatable. People were just like, one day I remember like 3 months into my journey or 5 months into my journey, I posted something about how I missed my workout. And I had like ice cream with my kid. And one of my clients was like, oh my gosh, you're a human. I had no idea. So like, really, people do think about what you relate to on social media and what other coaches you follow or whatever people you follow and why you follow them and what draws you to their page, because most of the time it's that realness. So, but sharing about the sisterhood, the friendship, this picture is me and two of my coaches that came to Summit this year in Indianapolis. And just that fellowship that you have, and just being together, the sisterhood. I know as a mom, I'm a lonely stay-at-home mom, that filled a huge void in my life. And I am always amazed at the power of relationships that form over social media. I feel like I know these girls better than I know anybody. And so I share about that too. I think sometimes people think that you have to be together and all that all the time. So the income potential is something you can share. But again, if you're, a newer coach, there's a lot of ways, again, I'm going to share that you can do that before it's this big thing. Personal growth. This is a life-changing opportunity in every way, shape, and form. There are just so many reasons to share about coaching, because coaching is really what helps us in all of those ways. So this is my husband, and he was really my why when I started. And it's really, really important. You guys hear about the whole, like, it sounds like so cliche, what's your why? But it really, really, I gotta tell you, of knowing what mine was, if I actually flip a camera around here. See right there, that is my why. And my son. Because, and that's been there ever since I started coaching, to remind myself, I look at it like every day, that's why I'm here and that's why I'm doing this. So hopefully I won't cry when I share. And I realize not everybody's going to have this big of a why or this much of something driving them. But because my husband, his mom passed away when he was little, his dad was in prison until he was 16. And he was in and out of foster care, and he really didn't have a great childhood. And there was so much drugs, alcohol, terrible things in his past, that what he learned was, if I work hard enough, I can get myself out of that situation, and I'm never going to go back. And I am just like, I'll just achieve anything in my life. And he worked so hard from 14 years old on, worked himself into the ground. And it's why we have everything that we have today. But I could see that our life was literally going to be just us like ships passing in the wind. He was never able to be home when he said he'd be home. I'd get a text message like, walking out now. And then an hour and a half later, I'd call him and he's like, I'm sorry, I'm leaving now. I'm like, I thought you said that an hour and a half ago. Because you're a manager, you get stuff all the time. And very often after I started coaching, I really thought I signed up for me, like just to create some extra pocket money as a stay-at-home mom. I really hated that it was all his money. And even though he never made me feel like that, I did. And I just wanted a little money for a cup of coffee or just something, anything for me. And guys, I started sharing that stuff so early. I'll never forget a picture I posted of a bathing suit for me, a bathing suit for my husband, a bathing suit for my son. And it was just a screenshot of 3 bathing suits on a bed. And the way I posted was I said, to anyone else, this might just look like a picture of 3 bathing suits. But to me, this right here is everything. Like, this is a huge deal. And I shared how it was the first thing I had bought with my own money, like since I could remember that I could actually buy something for my husband, for my son, and for me, and with a paycheck I had earned, and what that felt like. I had more likes on that post than I had to that point on anything. So many people and moms related to that, and they wanted to celebrate with me. So also let your audience celebrate those milestones with you, big or small. So I did not want this to be my life. And so many people were telling me, this is how it is, Kim. Like, you guys are young. You've got young kids. Like, well, I think we just had one at the time. But like, this is just how it is. And I remember thinking, no, you can go and be that 98%er, but I'm a 2%er, and I'm not settling for this. I don't want a life where my kids never see their daddy. And I don't even want to have more kids until I change the situation. And I know that God is for me, and I know He doesn't want me to have a life where I never see my husband and go to bed alone every night. Our marriage was suffering. My kid would literally cry. You guys, I would open up my laptop and I would get to work on my Beachbody business at like 8:30 at night when I got my son to bed until like midnight, because it had such a strong light. My son would stand in that window. I have a picture of him, and he would wait for daddy. And daddy wasn't coming. And he would go to bed so many nights crying that he missed daddy. Why didn't he get to see daddy today? And that is why I showed up every day for 3.5 years through all I did wrong. And I definitely did more wrong in this business than I did right. Being so utterly alone, because Katie and I only very recently connected. I honestly didn't think she was my kind of person at all. And my very couple first interactions with her were not really great. And so I kind of wrote her off, like she's not going to help me either. And Tracy Morrow was like next up in line. She's a grandma founding coach way up the line. And I tried, and I was told I couldn't even get in touch with her. So I floundered. I'm completely alone in this business until just about a half a year ago. So it had to have something like that driving me, or I would have quit 10 times over, because it was so much harder doing it on my own. And so this man right here, like this is what drove me. And I will tell you guys that 2 years into the business, after I was pregnant with our second, about a week after my son was born, this picture is the last day that my husband worked in the restaurant business. And because of coaching, not was I able to bring him fully home yet, but I was able to allow him to take a job for $15,000 less a year, where he could actually be off nights, weekends, and holidays. And that has been completely life-changing for our family. And that is just one of the many things that coaching has done for me. And I share that so often. My entire social media following knows that. So you got to be really rooted and know why you're a coach. Why are you here? And also know that that's probably going to change, and that's okay. Share it as it changes. But why did you become a coach in the first place? And guys, your social media following should know that. They should know that you're a coach. They should know why you're a coach. And I hashtag my why, like hashtag my voice, hashtag my why all the time when I'm sharing about coaching. When I don't want to show up, I just posted on Instagram. I don't know if any of you guys follow me on there, but I just posted a couple weeks ago a picture of me sitting at the kitchen table with my laptop during nap time. And I shared that I was so tired that I could cry. But like, that's the difference in the people that are really successful at things like this and those that aren't, is those that show up when it's so hard. Like, my son was up the whole night. Like, there's so many excuses and reasons not to. But I know this is what it takes, and that it was super well received. I want people to not just see that coaching is just super fun. A lot of coaches in the business, I think, are just trying to attract people. But guess what? If you just make it seem light and fun and there's never any work and get rich quick scheme, you're going to get a lot of people that show up and they're not actually going to want to work the business. And they're going to think like they're going to be out the minute they realize that it actually is work. So I want to balance the fun and that everyone should do this because this is amazing with the real life stuff. So do not lead with what other people are sharing about coaching, guys. Like, your why is probably not that your husband works all the time and you never see him. And share what yours is. And when you see other people lead with the coach opportunity, figure out what part of it you like, and then turn around and somehow bring that into a post of yours with your content and your why. Because for so long, because I didn't have an upline, I just tried to do anything I saw any other Beachbody coach doing that seemed like it went over well. And it really didn't work for me. It's like, people know it wasn't authentic. And only over the past year do I feel like I've really established my own voice as a coach. It took me a long time to get there and to not just try to copy, be like everybody else out there. And Macy is such a great example of someone who's not trying to just be like every other coach. Y'all are very blessed to be on her team. So breadcrumb and share all the small wins along the way with coaching. Cup of coffee, that gas tank, the personal development book you were able to buy with your own money because of coaching. What personal development is doing for you and your mindset. Are you waking up feeling a little bit more joyful? Are you actually establishing a morning routine? What is it that's changing? And just let people see those changes. You don't have to clobber them over the head like, because I'm a coach, this is that. Did you know that you can join my coach opportunity? Oh, it's starting to, like, sometimes you're going to have those call to actions, but just let them follow along. Don't have this necessary agenda all the time. Just let them follow the journey. And stop thinking about what other people, really important part though, not sharing just where you are right now. You need to share where you were when you started, because so often people look at you right now and they're like, well, she's like a workout queen and she works out no matter what. And like, that's awesome. Good for her. But I can't do that. Like, I don't even know where to start. I always try to speak to where I was when I started. And a lot of times I'll make a post like, I know you guys see me working out every day, but that was not me 3 years ago. I was always into fitness, and for 18 months after having a kid, I barely did anything. Like, it was so much harder. And in my interactions with clients, I have like engagement questions that I ask them to get to know them better in their health and fitness journey, where they are, what their goals are, all that. And in one of the questions, when I ask them to share, I tell them, please know these are confidential. I don't share them. I do not judge. And in parentheses, I put, I'm pretty sure I was living on coffee, granola bars, and like my son's leftovers and goldfish when I started, because I want people to know that I was there too. I want them to feel like they're not comparing themselves to me now, that we all start somewhere. And so it's important to share about where you were when you started and let them see the difference and how, coaching and Beachbody has helped you do that. And then stop thinking about what other people need to see. I got so wrapped up in that. Okay, but I need to make a coach opportunity sneak peek post. Okay, so I need to touch on this, and someone needs to know this so that they're going to join my team and they're going to sign up. Now, just like share what's happening on your coaching journey as you go. So you got to have that CEO mindset. Like I said, you guys, if someone told you, hey, you can get free eyelashes, like whatever, if you just tell 3 friends about the business, like, you can enter this giveaway and win some free yoga pants if you tag 3 friends. Like, we all do that stuff and we don't even think twice about it. Your business depends on you getting at least 3 people a month to join you. Like, why would you ever not do that? If you want to grow this business, you have to share this business. Yes, there are some people who make a significant amount of money just selling challenge packs, but most people that do that are running themselves into the ground and working this business 24/7. It's so much smarter to actually have like pipelines, to have other people that are working the business hard. And I know that is just so smart. When you have times when you can't work as much or life hits you hard, or you have a baby or whatever, you're going to be so glad that you have so much residual income and this awesome team beneath you that are still showing up maybe when you can't. It's such a blessing. But you also, it's not just about the finances. Having people that are just like, that are passionate about you and like really catch your vision, it's just going to bring so much joy and purpose to your life when you find people like that. So you need to run a coach info session or a sneak peek, or some people call it like a, happy hour coaching thing, whatever, or a webinar about coaching. And you need to invite to it just as much as the challenge group. I will say that I'm guilty of not inviting to it as much as a challenge group, but I do invite to it quite a bit. And I'm always using hashtags on Instagram and reaching out to my followers who are super into fitness and chatting with them about what I do for sure. And I do run like a 2-day, we have done a 5-day, we did a 3-day, we've recently been on a 2-day sneak peek every month into coaching. I call it like a glimpse into the coaching or behind the scenes into coaching on Team Fit with Faith. And I always have new people in there every month. So start saving your content now. If you guys are like, how should I word this? Okay, Macy taught me this. Well, this seems like it's working with my girls. One word of advice that I wish I would have done earlier, aside from tracking your business early, is to actually start copy and paste what you're doing now, save it. Like, create a Google Drive if you don't have one, and just start saving your stuff so that when you get coaches, you can just share that stuff with them. I wish I had saved so much more when I was new and when I started, so that I had that already and I didn't have to keep kind of coming up with new stuff and be like, okay, wait, and then back up. Okay, I got to, write all this and share this with them. It's so much easier to just save and do it as you go. And then and remember that team's going to come. So even if you don't have it now, they will come. You just got to believe it, and you got to start kind of acting like you already have coaches and kind of be in that role now, kind of step into leadership of it yourself on your teams and stuff. So consider how you come off. Though, like I said, be really authentic, because people can see right through it when you're not. I see coaches all the time. I don't know about you guys, but I just feel like I've been getting tons of Beachbody Coach followers lately, and all of them, you would think by their Instagram that they are just nailing it. Like nailing it. And I'll never forget when I chatted with Katie for one of the first times in November, and I was super down on myself. I was nowhere near the goals I had set for myself for the year. And I know she was trying to make me feel better, but she's like, Kim, no, I think it was Tracy Morrow. She's like, do you know that only 2,900 coaches hit Success Club in November? You were one of those coaches. 450,000 coaches and only 2,900 people hit Success Club this month. And I was like, seriously? Like, that's crazy. But like, I'm like, what are all those other people doing then though? Because it makes it seem like they seem like they're just nailing it, like, you know, but there's so many people blowing smoke in this business, you guys. And I just think it's important that we are not one of them. You're never going to see me share, you know, all these things about how, like, things that just aren't true of my business or where my business is, because I'm just not that kind of person. I have shared that we're in the top 1% of coaches of teams, because we are. I have shared that we're not crazy far off from my goal of elite this year. We're about halfway there. I don't know if we're going to do it or not. I believe it. I'm claiming it. I'm owning it. I will see. But I don't I'm never going to act like we're somewhere that we're not, or that I've achieved something that I haven't. I think it's important. Let's talk a little bit about how to share about coaching. So you live and you lead your mission every day. It's not, coaching should not be like separate from your life. Like Beachbody is a way of life, right? It's a lifestyle. Like, you know, it's your personal development, you know, inviting, all those things should be habitual, just like brushing your teeth or anything else. So you live and you lead your mission, and you be the kind of coach that you wish that you had. I really used to get so frustrated with my coaches for so long. Why are they not doing anything? Like, I'm giving them all this stuff. I'm really like, why aren't they doing it? First of all, we can't make people do anything. But I realized that I had to stop blaming it on my upline. Like, why wasn't, you know, all these other coaches are getting all these, you know, if I had an upline and I could plug my people into her sneak peek and I wish I had all these things that everybody else had. And if my upline was running these retreats and I could just invite people to it and I could go and they see me winning this and winning that, oh, my business would have been so much further. Okay. God placed me on this team for a reason. This is happening not to me, it's happening for me. And I have been able to attract so many people who were coaches and maybe were ready to give it another try, but they thought, and I've been able to speak life and truth into other coaches who I have nothing to benefit from, that if they really want it, they will make the business work. I had no experience, nothing. I had no money. I started with a Goodwill chair that I bought and a desk from Goodwill. I didn't even have a laptop. I had to borrow my sister's. My beginnings in this business were super humble. And I'm telling you, like, absolutely anybody can do this business. I'm horrible with technology. You can see that from my slideshow. And my team is like, I'm usually like, how do I start this PowerPoint? Anybody can do it. If I can, you can. So, but I realized that I had to be the coach that I wish I had. I had to lead from the front. I had to start creating content for the team I didn't have yet. I had to start running team calls for people that weren't even showing up and just practicing and saving those videos. I had to be always hitting Success Club myself. I needed to share the opportunity. If I wanted to get coaches who would share the opportunity, like, I had to check into the groups every day myself, almost, if I wanted them to. So be that coach. Invite 5 people to the coach opportunity every day. That's probably, I bet you no one on this call is doing that. I know nobody on my team is really doing that, even though I talked to them about it. And a really good way is like the eat that frog thing. Whatever it is that you avoid the most, put it first in your day. Lindsay Matway has no upline either. And she's like the top female earner in the company and our only 4-time superstar diamond coach. And she is a personal mentor of mine. I'm like, if Lindsay can do it, like, I can do it too. She had a powerful why drive in her, just like me. And she just was like, I'm going to do whatever I want to do least, whatever I tend to always push off and never get done, I'm going to put it first in the day. Maybe that's 5 invites. Maybe you have one that you like, copy, paste, send. Don't think about it. You pray about it and go. Do that with the coach opportunity. I'm going to show on the next slide, I think it is, a couple of invite examples, the coaching that you guys can use. So maybe if you are more of like I'm going to forget, I don't share that much. If you kind of need like a motivational Monday, Tasty Tuesday, like if you need some kind of system, pick a day of the week, like Thursday, that you're going to share on social media every week, just something about coaching. Put an alarm on your phone and like share coach app, you know, just something coaching has done for you just to get you started sharing about it. Make a post about your coach sneak peek in your challenge group, you guys. Create, you know, that challenge group, invite all your challengers to it personally in a voice memo. If you feel like they're showing you potential that they could be a great coach or that they're just nailing it, they're always posting, they're all about it, they're, you know, absolutely. I also really like to encourage my clients and challengers I let them know I would love to recognize them for how awesome that they're doing. And when I tag them on Facebook, not only do they feel amazing, they love all the support that they get from people and the encouragement. But honestly, so many times there's comments like, what are you doing? I need your secret. And I let them know, hey, you had some friends that were, messaging you. I would love to help you chat with them. Can you start a PM between me and you and that person, and I'll introduce myself, and or you can introduce me, and then I'll just chat with them about it, because they have no idea what they're doing. And I like to do with my new coaches, we do, you do. I kind of do it kind of for them first couple times, let them get familiar with the system, and then we kind of do it together. I ask them to tell me what they would say to those, how they would answer those questions, what programs they would recommend for this person, and then then they are comfortable with the process themselves and do it on their own. So it's pretty empowering. And they build confidence that way. But I do invite a lot of my challengers to it. I do always invite into the challenge group, because the best coaches, if you guys haven't heard this, like 80 or 90% of Diamond coaches were first challengers. So the majority of your coaches are going to come from your challenge groups. And then invite people to events like Super Saturday, guys. So when Macy said she was curious about what the market council is, Beachbody has councils in like every street in different areas. And Beachbody corporate selects coaches that they see certain things in. I don't even know what their system is of how but I remember I got an email. They had asked me to come. I got invited to a dinner. If you guys know Ashley Smith, she's become a friend of mine. She lives a little bit away from me. She goes to our church, and she's our top 10 coach. She was number 10 this year. She's been top 10 in the last 2 years. And she's on the council with me, a few other coaches down here in Atlanta. And we put on and host a Super Saturday. I'm the Shaco girl. So if you need me, I'll be at the Shaco bar, being the barista, all the stuff in my crawl space over there. It's just cool. It's a really cool thing to be involved in. But getting to a Super Saturday, if you've never been there, there's a lot of power in the events. I cannot tell you how many coaches were about to quit and went to a Super Saturday, and then like balls to the wall, they were back in. Or how many challengers I invited that came with me and were like, they drank the punch. Like, I have had so many coaches, whenever they go to an event, Summit or Super Saturday, they're like, I want this. So you can also consider holding like a coach opportunity at your house. You can just talk to people about it, do like food fellowship. I think Ali Tessatori, I just love her. She's struggles with anxiety too. And I met her at a Super Saturday here in Atlanta. She's like, that's something that she looks so forward to every month. And she is a great person to follow, who unashamedly shares the coaching opportunity. She actually did a national wake-up call on it a few weeks ago and had so much great stuff to share. So whatever you pick though, make it work for you. And you have to stay consistent with it, even when it doesn't seem like it's paying off. Those coaching quote advertisements are always usually going to be your worst in terms of like affinity. Like, you're probably not going to get a ton of likes on them. They're still super important. It's important that people see them, that they know that you have something every month. If they're interested in coaching, they can come to. So invite every single person, guys, that you see the vision in. I'm going to wrap up in just a minute here. I'm so sorry. So don't try to attract everyone. I did that for a really long time, and I signed all these coaches that I literally like couldn't stand. They were not my people, and it felt like work. It didn't feel joyful. Now I'm attracting girls that have the same beliefs as me, the heart that has like all of that, and it's so much more fun. So try to attract you. Post to you when you started. Use the hashtags that describe you, and if you stay authentic to you, you are going to attract those kind of people. So I think Emily Faber, who is just setting history right and left in this business right now, went from like 1 star to like 15 star in just a few months. Everyone's studying what she did and how she's done it right now. She shared in a call that I don't even think I was supposed to be free to do this. You guys can screenshot this, whatever. But she said that she was like, when she would see somebody on social media that they were posting all their sweaty selfies, they were literally acting like a coach. They weren't yet. This is what she messaged. Hey girl, I know we don't know each other, but I've been wanting, so this is like a cold invite too. And I don't know if that's your style. If it is, if it's not, just still know, I think I try to always build relationships first and foremost. But in order to hit my goals, there have been times that I have, and I've also had them work well. So, hey girl, I know we don't know each other, but I've been wanting to ask you for a while, and I think fear just got in the way. So again, they see that you're human. Some of my coaches started an invite where they're like, I'm working on being more brave. So like, I hope you don't mind me messaging you, but, and have you ever thought about becoming a coach if you aren't already one? I feel like everything you post is so inspiring, and that if you aren't one, you should have been one like yesterday. And people are so complimented by that, you guys. Like, and so many people are like, wait, but what's a coach? And it's just such an easy in. Bonnie Engel shares something very similar. And obviously these girls that are doing it, they're at the top. So I always stay teachable, and I take notes from people that are doing what's working, and I try it. See if it works for me. So you can also just say something like, have you ever considered doing what I do? Well, once you've chatted a couple of times, you're kind of already doing it. This is one thing I say to people all the time. Like, I'm just putting this out there. You might think this is crazy, but I feel like you'd be amazing at what I do. I would love to have you watch my coach story. And I created on YouTube a video. I put it in my Instagram bio. People can just click, and they do all the time. And they tell me that it really helps clear up, because I address all my preconceived notions. It's kind of like I start them there, and then if they're interested, I'll pop them into my sneak peek. But that's another thing that you can do. And that picture, you guys, was in the Atlanta airport before Coach Summit at Indianapolis this year. And I almost didn't go because it's always really hard for me to leave my voice. I'm just that helicopter anxious mom. Beachbody's really been helping me with that. When I started, I was so rigid that I wouldn't even let myself work out unless my son was napping, because I thought it would make me a bad mom and be really selfish. So I've come a long way to take trips away from my boys. But my kids were actually both sick. And I almost called off the trip because my son's blood disorder, we actually were on the phone with the emergency room the night before, and it looked like things were going to go in the wrong direction. And I just laid it all down and just said, God, if you want me there, you're going to help me be there. But I also had a friend who spoke some truth into my life. I called her. She's in my small group. And I was like, Chelsea, here's where I'm at. I think I should go and not worry about if anyone would judge me, because the old me would have judged me. But I really, and she's like, Kim, I think your husband's right. Because what my husband said to me is, Kim, you know what? So many, if this was me for work and I had a work trip, it doesn't matter that Josh threw up this morning and Caleb was throwing up a couple of days ago. Like, I would be going. It wouldn't be why we wouldn't be talking about it. The only reason why we're talking about it is because you don't, quote, have to go. And so many women treat their jobs, MLMs, side hustles, all that stuff, it's just this optional side thing. Like, they don't really have to show up. They don't have to go. And I shudder to think at what y'all would be achieving and what I would always be achieving in their businesses if we actually treated them like that. And so I put on my Be Brave tank and I got to the airport and I went, and I actually got sick there. My husband got sick. Pretty much all my fears came true, but I grew so much because I chose faith over fear. Fear would have held me back. And that's my whole mission. That's what my team is. That's what I'm here to help lead people into. So this is my last slide, y'all. Just some final tips for you about kind of what's been working for me, and then we'll close. You guys can ask me any questions if you have them. The things that I feel like I'm doing right that are working for me is I own my truth. I own my truth. I could be ashamed to share how much we were struggling financially. I also could be ashamed to share that we've been back there very recently because of the fact that my business slowed a little bit. And my husband's job, we ended up picking up some extra bills and things as we have a second kid and all that. And things went back to being super tight. And like, we couldn't even afford a family vacation. We couldn't, we racked up a tiny bit of debt and we were totally debt free because of Beachbody. And so it was really just but I'm like, but I have this opportunity that I can do so much more with. And so I never think like, gosh, I shouldn't share that because then people are going to think I don't make much money coaching and then they're not going to want to join my team. I really do try to be authentic every step of the way. And like I said, I created that coach story. That's worked really well for me. I talk about what coaching has done for me really consistently. And I don't avoid other MLM people, like I said, like the plague, like I used to, because many of them have joined me. I do run a monthly coach sneak peek. I compliment my new clients that, when I see potential in them all the time and pop them into the sneak peek. I sign nearly everyone as a day one discount coach, unless, like I said, they're actually interested in coaching, because then I want them to have the best start possible. And I really want them to fully immerse themselves first and foremost and give themselves that extra 30 days. I do have a discount coach email that I created more recently just for those people who I know really aren't interested in pursuing a business opportunity, but I want them to have some tools and things that they can use to help get people signed up, because a lot of times they do. And then I have a really simple system for all my coaches just to duplicate. I've created like a training they can just plug their people into. I have a new coach welcome email that they can just send to their people. So I've kind of created a system so my coaches do not feel overwhelmed that they do not know how to do it all. There's even a video in my coach training about what to do when you get a new coach, so they actually know that right off the bat. So in closing, you guys, you miss 100% of the shots that you don't take. You are missing 100% of the coaches that you are not inviting. And guess what? Somebody else is going to. I have had other women, other coaches invite somebody before I did who was on my list of potentials, and I lost them because I didn't move quickly enough. So you got to remember, there are so many people out there like me that are looking for something like this, needing this in the worst way. Do not be the reason that they don't receive that help or what they need in their life right now. When you have something to share like this, I truly believe it's just selfish not to. Don't let your ego get in the way. Thanks so much for letting me chat myself tonight, guys.
That helps. I have a question for you. Can you hear me? Are you okay?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Okay. So you say you run. First of all, I wrote so many notes down as I was I've been writing notes on my computer, so I'm looking at my notes. You say you run a sneak peek every month. And I've heard of coaches doing that. I have never done that. Can you share a little bit more about what exactly you do in a sneak peek?
Yeah, I can also just add you to mine and you can browse around and see what I do. Yeah, so like I said, it's changed a lot. It used to be a 5-day one, and it was one video a day. Okay. And it was all me at the beginning because I didn't have a team. Eventually, I got a couple of my first diamond coach. I had her make a video because I wanted the people that they were adding to see them and not just me, because they're probably going to relate more to that person and their story. And I wanted to empower my girls to, you know, like to run a team call or whatever, so that they start feeling like leaders on the team and take ownership and attract people and step into that role. Because that's actually one things Amanda really did right for me, was inviting me to talk on a team call when I was literally like a month and a half into coaching. I was so scared. But literally when I got off that call, everyone was like, that's one of the best team calls I've ever been on this team, like in my life. And I felt so good. I was like, I can do it. Like I can do it. You know, it changed me as a coach. So
here.
Thank you. Well, like I said, I want to be a motivational speaker. So. But yeah, now I will tell you guys, I've had to learn and get really good at using the resources that are out there. I have had to train myself by other coaches. I go to other team calls, like Amy Rada, she's like number 6 right now, and I love her. She kind of rules with her fitness, and we both got certified to teach Insanity this year at Summit, and she had a team call that like I've actually watched where other coaches will invite like a top coach on to train their coaches at a retreat. I have studied some of these team calls. There are so many calls where they have dropped like their website and their password and all this stuff. Guys, I live and die on that stuff. I had no one handing me anything in this business. So I had to take stuff like that. And for the sneak peek, there is an elite push group that I'm in right now. Macy, I'm sure you could get into that. Actually, you know, I can't remember. I think I am. Okay. So if you're in there, there is like a file section. And one thing I saw was that this girl, Catherine Crowan, and I can forward it to you, but she shared a call, and I think they uploaded it to YouTube, about how she was doing her sneak peeks. And I literally stopped almost everything I was doing in mine and redid it. And although I don't always recommend that, she had some great tips. She actually gets people to practice the vital behaviors in her sneak peek. So like she'll ask a video, and at the end, there's a call to action. And the way that they win, she does prizes in her sneak peek, is if they actually watch the video to the end, because she wants them to have all the information. In the last little bit, they will share, they ask a question, and anybody who actually does it. So it'll be like, share something motivational on your page, like a quote or whatever that really speaks to you today. That's literally getting them to practice sharing something motivational, right? One of them is like, go message 3 people on Facebook that you haven't talked to in forever. Just, hey, it's been forever. I stumbled on your page. How are you? But literally she's like, that's what we do. Like, that's how we invite, that's how we build relationships. You know, so I'm not saying that everyone will do it, but I've actually had a lot of people watch the videos, and I've created the videos myself. Now we do it where we have, and I can share this too, we created like what we think are the biggest topics people would need to hear. Like, do I have to sell? You know, do I really have time for this? You know, is it a pyramid scheme? Like all those kinds of things. And then we go like, you know, a 3 to 5 minute video, and we just have these videos posted throughout the day. Now is what we're doing. And I think the biggest thing that works for people is me sharing my story, because I tell them that I wasn't interested in the shape. I thought Beachbody was like super salesy. Like when I lead with the things that they all have too, they're so much more likely to trust me and then hear me out and then be like, oh, well, you know, so I do think that works.
Yeah, that's so, like, so good. Because I feel like for me, like, I am known, oops, sorry, I'm making sure that everything's okay. So I'm known as, like, the fitness girl, right? I'm not known as, like, the entrepreneur girl, and that's kind of something that I'm trying to shift to and also teach my team how to do, which I'm super excited. Thank you so much for the call. Oh, someone's hopping off. That's what she chatted. So this was like so good to hear, to like unapologetically share the opportunity. And even like I posted today and I was like, okay, I'm going to share something. It could just be a picture of like Austin and I on the beach, or it could be like a mentorship opportunity post that I'm going to do. So I'm like very much so trying to like shift my mind. Another thing I wrote down that I thought was really good is that not everyone is like your person. Not everyone is part of your team. Like the girl that I'm here with right now at the beach, like she will not be somebody that will ever do this. And that's okay. Like it's okay to not have a person that you're friends with that's not going to be a person for you, right? I thought that was really, really good. Does anyone else have any questions? Mary Alice, Tanya, I know Kaylin just had to jump off. Do y'all have any questions or thoughts?
Oh, and I will say, because you're in Mexico right now, first of all, I loved your post today. I was like, she's doing it, because that is the stuff. It was so good. It was so good. But I had such a similar picture of me and my husband. I can't remember if I threw it up on a slide, but it was on Instagram, and it was literally very similar thing because obviously coaching paid for that. But I talk about it all the time too. It's not like we can only do it one time, but it is an important shift. And sometimes it does feel kind of uncomfortable, but everything you want is you got to get out of your comfort zone to grow and like to reach people that need that. Like that inspired me, you know, so it is also, in my sneak peek, I used to run a new one like every group, which is so silly because again, I'm learning how to simplify. My mission this year with my team is simplification and just creating more simple systems rather than always making it so complicated. So I started to actually have one sneak peek. It stays open and I just add new people to it every month and we restart it every month. And why that's really good is you'll see people from the past who start commenting and they're viewing the videos again and all that. Because if they were interested at one point, they probably will be again. But I also re-engage when I was in Mexico, I did a behind the scenes sneak peek in the Mexican Riviera. And I literally showed them everything that Beachbody was doing for us, the super trainers, the workouts I was in, like, you know, all the stuff that how it was all inclusive, all that. But I did that at Summit and they do that for everything. I'll probably, you know, post Super Saturday stuff at the next Super Saturday because that's where people really get to actually live it out with you. I had more people interested in coaching after my Mexican Riviera sneak week than ever. So.
Shoot, I would have been too, for sure. No, that's so good. And I love that, like, you use those opportunities, like you use them well. And that's what I'm trying to do here. I'm like, okay, how can I use this wisely? Like, this is a once in a year opportunity. Like, how can I use it? Totally. Mm-hmm. Anybody else? Mary Alice, Tanya?
Well, I don't have any questions, I guess. I'm still trying to. So, who's this? Kim, right?
Kim, yeah.
Yes.
Girl, I would video show myself in Macy's nightgown, so I don't want nobody to see me. Macy with her nightgown throughout. I'm in the bed, but so I'm 42, and I find that women my age, they have this wall. It is a very thick wall, and they're very skeptical, and I feel lost. Like, how? Because in my mind, I'm thinking, I don't want to tell you what I'm thinking. Like, girlfriend, what's wrong with you? Stop this madness. They just are stuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How old are you, Kim?
So I'm 31, but I will tell you, I have some coaches on my team in their 40s, and one of them she's so cute. She uses the hashtag like fit in my 40s.
Yeah.
But I have to tell you, I have had other coaches in that age range who have, you know, said, but they have, what I've liked, one of them, her name was Carla. She's like, I really love that I don't have the whole like young mom, like you have, all that, because I'm working a different one. Not moms, some people or whatever, but speak to that person in your posts more would be my biggest advice to you. Also, I really, really rock something that I call feel, felt, found, and it's how Beachbody teaches us to deal with objections. But if you started this, I'm going to assume, was there any part of you that was skeptical or hesitant before you signed up?
Yeah.
Of course, Macy's sign me up.
So write down, do me a favor tonight when you hop off and grab a piece of paper, and I want you to write down like 5 things, reasons why you almost didn't do this or didn't do it for a while. Then I want you to take one of those things and make a post about it tomorrow. And what you need to do is say, I remember, I did this once. I was like, I remember when I told my coach I wouldn't drink that stupid shake, that healthy people don't drink shakes, that, you know, all that. And that was the start of my post because I wanted to grab someone's attention who was thinking that very thing as they're watching me. And then I went into like what I learned. But a lot of times it could just be, you know, it's so crazy that, you know, 6 months or however long that it's been since you joined Macy and started coaching, you know, later, I'm still here doing these home workout when I said, like, I would never even join this. Or you can literally start your post with no. That's what I said to my coach when she reached out to me to try this. You can just be like, and here's why. I thought this, I thought that, I thought that, and I can't believe how wrong I was. I think it's so important to speak. There was a National Wake Up Call. If I find it, I'll message it to Macy for you guys from a long time ago. By the way, you can hear me say a lot. I literally never miss a wake up call. I have trained these are the top coaches in the network sharing their tips, their invites, their follow-ups for free. Like, it's just, it's like, take it. And it really helped so much. So if you are thinking you want to reach that person, so yeah, these girls, they've got walls up. You're like, they're not doing anything. But if you felt the same way, like, you need to meet them where they're at and speak to those objections that they have more in your posts. And the more that you speak to the objection in a way that doesn't, so for a while I was so frustrated with people. I'd be like, no, it's crazy to me how many people say they don't have money to take care of their health and fitness, and they're out there buying like $500 Power Wheels for their kids and like $1,000 purses, and they're like, okay, that's no good, right? Nobody wants to see somebody who's like aggravated with people on social media. But what I learned to do was to almost put it on me, like that I had been like that. Because it's easy as coaches to come in and think like, well, now we're up here, right? Like, we're smarter, we know better, we've made these changes. And it's almost easy to kind of look down on or get frustrated with people. And I try to extend grace, like, I was that person. I didn't think I had the money for this. So I get financial objections a ton. And instead of being like, oh, they're not going to, I literally say, girl, I felt the same way. But, here's how I felt. But this is what I found. I found that I was actually going to Target or a gas station or a coffee shop and buying $3 here, and at the end of the month, it was more than $160. So I have found ways to take my story and what my objections were and to use it to actually meet people where they're at and help them kind of see the light. So I would try to take those things that why you didn't do it or what objections or the objections that you're getting and somehow tailor it into your posts more consistently. And I think that you'll stop getting as many.
Girl, you're the female Tony Robbins. Okay.
That is good advice right there. That is good. Like, so good. I love that.
I'm going to do it.
Dang.
Good. And I tell my coaches a lot too that at the end of the day, this is a numbers game. So like, I reach out to, basically 1 in 10 people is probably going to say, yeah, I'm interested in some more information. So if you're only talking to like 5 or 10 people like in a month, like you're probably going to hear no the whole time, but the more people that you talk to, the more, and as you grow and you're going to, the biggest thing is like Macy shares that your belief comes from your action. I used to think I had to get a certain result and then I would believe in myself. But the more that I took action and actually got in all the time, I tell my new coaches, do not just hoard this information, go implement. Hey, day 1 of coach training, now go do this. Now go do this day 2, because you will get that confidence. The first person that you start doing this with and you start getting people interested in your posts and you're going to be like, oh my gosh, like I can do it. She was right. Like, and it just, the more you do it, the better you'll get and you're going to learn. And there's a great in my church sermon last week and it was like failure, either way, like it's a win-win situation. Like with like success, you're either going to learn something or you're going to like win. Like, there's no, it really is win-win. So.
God, that's so good. Okay, one more question for you.
Yeah.
Keegan and Ab, you have some good, we need to work together more. That's all I have to say. You have some good stuff. What is the one thing you think is like the common denominator for you that has helped you hit Success Club for the last 39 months?
I'll be honest, I have made Success Club a non-negotiable. I'm not going to bed. I'm not hitting it. There's no effing way I'm not hitting it. And actually, I was a Success Club 10 All-Star. And the reason that I'm not a legend is because when I was pregnant that first month, I was so sick. So sick. It was the hardest that my business has ever been. And I got onto a team call. I literally made a video for my coaches in tears about how you will see me fall. And I felt hard, but you will not ever see me give up. And I'm going to come back stronger because I missed 6. I literally hit SC6. It was the first time I had missed 10 in 14 months. And I was pissed. I was mad at myself because I knew if I pushed harder, I could have, but I also knew that it was going to be like setting me up for a comeback. But literally, I just think that I have always made it non-negotiable. But I will say in my first several months, there was nights that I had to pray and say, God, I have talked to so many people this month. I have so many people interested. I am so cool. But you know what? Like, I literally I need your help because you know why I'm doing this. But I know it doesn't entirely rest on me. And my faith is a huge part of my coaching business. Sure. And at 3 a.m, my son woke up to nurse. And y'all, that one night that I almost missed it, it was the last day of the month. I prayed that prayer before I went to bed. I had 3 people who I had talked to all month and month before that were like, okay, chocolate vegan, here's my email. Like, let's do this. I was like, So I do think that I've had a helper all along, but it has been really hard. And there was many months I had to do a flash promo at the end of the month, or like I've made videos for my team of like ways to hit at the end of the month. I've taken other coaches' tips and things because it was very close sometimes, but it was just literally, I had to. It was just a non-negotiable. And when you tell your mind that like you can't not, there's no room for excuses. You figure it out.
So true. Dang, that's good. Mic drop. You're a hustler. What did you do before coaching?
I am. Hot yoga instructor. I was waiting tables and making bank doing that because I love talking to people. And I went to school I worked for Atlanta Magazine for a while, but it was like an internship. And then I realized I didn't actually want to do that with writing. So, but this is like, I was like that perfect fit for coaching. I wish I could find a me. I have one. I need more.
No, I get it. It's like my dad always says, it's like 1 in 20 that you can find that's like a you. It's hard for sure, but you are like killing it. It's so awesome.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Tanya said she's on a boat right now, and so it's hard to she just said, I'm on a date night, but I couldn't miss this. It's too good. So I'm not going to unmute myself because it's too loud. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's awesome. Any other thoughts? Mary Alice, do you have any other questions? She's there. Maybe not. Okay, awesome. Well, Kim, I'm so thankful for you. This was so good. Thank you so much. I learned so much. I'm going to be unapologetically sharing the coaching opportunity because of this call. I'm not even kidding you. Oh no.
Went a little bit long.
No, you're fine. This is like kind of it's lagging. It's perfect time. The internet is great right now, which is perfect timing. So thank you, Kim. You're awesome.
You're welcome. And if anybody has questions, just DM me on Instagram or whatever. Or Macy can give you my email and stuff. But go Rocket League.
Thanks, Kim. Have an awesome night.
Bye, you too.